It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we doing today. Now, let's get into the show. I'm an A. All right, y'all. Welcome back to Inside the Industry. It's your boy J Nolan here. We got Houston representative. You know what I'm saying? Crazy spitter. Y'all know we just had went over his just incredible freestyle the other day on the channel. We was able to get in contact with him, set up this interview just for y'all. Y'all gave good feedback on this, so I'm proud to bring him to the channel for y'all, man. Marqus Clae, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Oh man, it's all gravy, man. I'm just appreciative that you took time out your day to come speak with us.
Absolutely. Come on, man. It's all love.
For sure. So
Appreciate you for having me.
absolutely. That's what we all about over here. So just to jump right in, man. I know that you've been in this industry for a long time. I read your bio. I learned that you started rapping at a very young age. Grew up, your mom got you into music. You was listening to
Yep.
to the Beanie Siegels and all of them. So like when it came to you specifically pushing your pen, like what was that like for you? How was it when you like told people around you that this is what you wanted to do? Because I know that's not always the most like accepted thing to like get into to
hmm
rapping, especially.
It was I mean the outside my mom was the only one that I really cared about accepting it because she was the one who inspired me. So I felt like if I got her okay or her nod, it was that was all I needed. But they wasn't really rocking with it because I was so young. You know, they was telling my mom like, man, you too young for that. My mom was like, this is something you want to do. So that's pretty much how, the reaction I got. A lot of people wasn't with it, but as long as my mom was with it, then I was cool.
Got you, makes sense. So I was reading about you and it said something about you going on tour with like Lupe Fiasco early on. I want to clarify, was that when you was 10 or was that later on in the game?
Yeah, I was 10 and 11. So Lou took me on. I did spot dates with him on the Stepping Lasers tour at 10. There was like a few cities here and there. Then I did the whole Generation Lasers tour at 11, which was 48 cities, 45. I think 48 cities. So
So
yeah, I
yeah,
was
I was
young.
young.
I was a young pup for sure.
What was that experience like being on tour with such a major artist, especially at that time? That's like the height. Like Lupe had just like did the cool album coming back with the lasers, and of course it was like this big ordeal to like even get that album out. So like what was that like being so young, traveling around? You said 48 cities, like what was that experience?
It was crazy, and it just that was really the breaking point of me. Like, man, like this is it is it's beautiful to do what you love, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like performing is a great way to connect with the audience. So it was it's like I was at school, you know what I'm saying? Like watching Lupe was like listening to a professor or your teacher giving me pointers on how to perform, how to get the crowd engaged. So it was a very, very dope experience. And I'm forever grateful for it because Lou gave me a lot of game. Like he gave me a whole lot of game at a young age that a lot of kids don't get, a lot of grown-ups don't get. It's not fortunate enough to get from, Lupe as a veteran. So it was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Absolutely. Did he give you any like specific pointers or like game while you was out there? Like anything that like stuck with you through your career?
Absolutely. You got to work both sides of the stage. When I was young, my favorite side of the stage was the right side. I don't know what it was, but he was like, I mean, I don't know if we can curse, but he was like, nigga. Move, yeah, he was like, bro, move, work the stage, like give your all. He was like, when you leave, when you walk off the stage, nigga, I want you to feel like you exhausted. Not because you overdid yourself, but because you gave your all to the people. You know what I'm saying? And he told me, read. He said, reading is fundamental. He said it's the number one way for you to feed your mind. And if you want to be a dope rapper, you have to know how to use words. You have to know words to use them in dope ways. Like he just told me to never take nothing for granted. He was like a fucking grandfather, man. He was real strict. You couldn't be running around because I was on, he had his little cousins on tour. So we was all kids, you know what I'm saying, running around the venues and just acting ass. And he was like real, real strict and almost like a father figure almost. You know what I'm saying? Lou was he was very hands-on and attentive on the road. So yeah, but those two main points stuck with me the most, like working the stage and like reading. to keep your bars up.
How did that opportunity even come about for you to like be on tour with such a major act at such a young age? Like, what did you have going on at that time that like compelled him to bring you out?
DJ Simon Says DJ, and my DJ was like my producer as well. So we was working in the studio, and he was like, "Man, you know who Lupe Fiasco is?" And I was like, "Absolutely, of course." And he was like, "Would you want to go on the road with him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, nigga, of course. What you mean? I'm a kid saying this." And that's how it happened. He took me to his crib, and I met him. And Lou was like, "I want to take him on the road." You know what I'm saying? Nigga had a bunch of shoes. And nigga had about 200 shoes all over the crib. Like, that's one fond memory I remember from Lou condo in LA, man. I
I
remember
remember
that
that
shit.
shit. That's fire, bro. Following that, next thing that I seen that's pretty notable in your story is how you linked up with Master P. So you seem to like throughout your time in the game, like you keep finding yourself like aligned with legends. Like how is that
hmm
been like for you?
I feel like it's divine intervention. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it was supposed to happen because I met P in the airport. I was in LA. I was 16. I was out there on my rap hustle and shit. And I wouldn't say I was down, but I was like kind of defeated as a young, because I was doing it since 11 years old, and me being 16, I was like, man, I feel like I need to reach a certain point. Like I feel like I should have been reached that certain point. And I seen P. Me and my mom was together, man. And I seen P, and I was like, man, they look like P, but I don't know. And my mama is such a big fan of Master P. She was like, nigga, that is Master P. I was like, damn. So I said, I'm finna walk. I didn't even want nothing from him. I just wanted to walk up to him and let him know who I was. I said, man, I'm finna just go chop it up with him and let him know, man, I'm a fan of his work, his business mind, and I'm a up and comer myself. I walked up on him, let him know all that. He was like, let me hear something. I played him a song. He was like, I'm gonna fly you back out here 2 weeks later. That's what he did.
You linked with P. You signed to his label, right? No Limit Forever. So
Yep.
from that point, like, how do you feel like your career picked up at that moment when you aligned yourself with P? I know you got like a Sway in the Morning freestyle that I've seen where y'all was together. Like, what are some of the milestones that you feel
hmm
that you reached during that time period of working with him, and also anything that you may have learned from him because he's a pioneer for like independence and like business and all that
Absolutely.
stuff too.
Man, when I was on tour with Lupe, I was young Marcus. You know what I'm saying? So I had a name change. So when I signed with P, he introduced me as Marqus Clay. So that was like a big thing for me at the time. And P got all of my relationships with Sway, Double XL, all these Hip Hop DX. That was all off P. You know what I'm saying? P brought me around these people and introduced me as the newest up and coming artist that's hungry, that's ready to ready to take the game to another level, take my game to another level. So I'm forever grateful for that. And P always told me outwork everybody. That's one of the main pieces of game that he gave me, and that's what sticks with me to this day. He was like, you could be the best rapper in the world, but if you ain't working towards nothing, if you ain't working hard to let people know that you're the best, you're just gonna be the best rapper in the world from your area. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm forever grateful for the game he gave me and for that time I spent with him.
Going from young Marcus to Marcus Clay, was that like a legal thing to where you had to change your name that way, or was that just like a reintroduction period? You know what I'm saying? Like what was the thought process behind the name change?
It was a reintroduction. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was doing what I was doing with Lou, and I was dropping music, everybody thought Lupe was my ghostwriter. Oh, it's not believable. There's no way 11-year-old is spitting like this. So it was like, all right. And then after that, I went on tour with Mindless Behavior, and I did some records with Jacob Lattimore, and I was on 106 and Park. I got to number 2 on 106. So I did that kid lane because that made sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm forever grateful for that too. Jacob, my nigga. I love Jacob and his whole family. They my people. But I had to do that to make it make sense. But I turned like 15, and I was like, man, I want to break out of this young Marcus era. You know what I'm saying? It's this young shit. And, Marcus is my birth name, but Clay is an acronym. You know what I'm saying? It actually stands for creating legacy all day, every day. So I was like, man, I feel like that's something that'll stick. Give the people myself, give them my first name, but I don't want to give my last name. So I was like, man, I need to come up with something kind of creative. And that's how Marcus Clay came. So it was like basically a reintroduction.
Gotcha, and that's dope too. Cause like when I first got accustomed to like seeing you online, followed you on Twitter and stuff, I
Hmm.
saw the name Marcus Clay. I literally thought that was your name, like that was first and last. So,
Everybody think that. Everybody think that. Yep.
all right, so all right, so you go from Lupe, Master P. Then I seen that during the pandemic, you ended up linking with Def Jam, right? So how did that relationship with Def Jam come to be? Where did the interest come from? Did you have something that was out buzzing at the time independently? Were you still rocking with Master P to where did he like put that together, or was that something that was just on your own?
That was on my own. I was doing this segment on Instagram and Twitter called First and 15th. So where every first and 15, I produce a beat live and I rap over the beat, like after I produce the beat. And that caught the attention of the senior vice president of Def Jam at the time, 2 Clark. He jumped in my DMs and I thought it was spam. I thought it was somebody trying to hack my page. I'm like, all right, nigga. He was like, yo, I want to sign you, whoop de whoop, whatever, whatever. And I ignored him. I left him on red. He DM'd me again and was like, yo, this not a game. Like, nigga, hit me up. So I was like, okay, damn. I called him. And I would say a week later, he flew to Houston. We had dinner, and he signed me to Def Jam, and that's how that happened. But it happened off some independent stuff that I was doing on my own. I didn't really trying to get the attention of a label. You know what I'm saying? I was just on some building my name up. You know, building the my catalog, my resume up on my own, and he got the attention of 2. You know what I'm saying?
Dope, dope. And you said you was building the beat and rapping on it, so you produce also.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So what led you into producing as well? Because it's people out there that rap and produce, but it's not so many that can do it themselves. So like, how did you get into that side of things?
Hmm. Just being a fan of rappers and producers, you know what I'm saying? Pimp C, Big Crit, Cole, Pharrell, Kanye. You know, I admired those guys' work, and I always wanted to try to do it myself as a youngster. But I got to a certain point to where I felt like you never know until you try. You know what I'm saying? So once I started doing that, I really started playing around with it at like 16, 17. But I was 20 around that time when I was doing those segments. And I just was inspired by everybody I heard who did it. And I was always a fan of their work. Like, so I always wanted to convey that myself. You know what I'm saying? And so I dibble and dabble with the production for sure.
You linked with Def Jam. I know you got a project that you put out through Def Jam called Mecca in 2022.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
during that process of working with Def Jam, which of course is a legendary hip hop label, so many different people have, walked through those buildings and put numbers on the board, platinum, gold records, and all that stuff. Did you feel any pressure, working on that project? And, how did you feel putting that together?
I felt a little pressure, but I love pressure. You know what I'm saying? Because it just shows it's like a test for myself to see how far I'm gonna go and where I'm gonna take it and the lengths and the aspects of staying mentally strong. Why are you under this pressure? Because of course, man, you got DMX, Rockefeller, the whole Rockefeller was under Def Jam. You got Run DMC was under Def. You got so many different people like you said, who put these numbers up on the board. So the pressure was a beautiful pressure. You know what I'm saying? It was wonderful because it showed me how strong I am. You know what I'm saying? And I'm forever grateful for that project. You know what I'm saying? That project got a lot of eyes on me, and people still discovering it to this day. You know what I'm saying? And I love that. So.
Absolutely. Not only did you do that
Hmm.
album with Def Jam, but I know you also got your music in quite a few Madden, UFC, all that different type of stuff as well. So how do you feel that those types of placements on such an iconic series like Madden has helped you develop your fan base and like, help your career along the way as well?
Thinks is amazing because people who don't know who you are or not even a fan of hip hop or hear your song on a commercial on the game and want to tap in and figure out who you are. So I feel like that's crazy. I feel like that's super dope. And I grew up playing Madden. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was 2-0 though. I remember the first things 2-0 said. One of the first things he said when he signed me was, "I got to get you in that sync world." because that's a almost guaranteed way to make income. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's very important to have that up under your belt. You know, get more people on your music. You know what I'm saying? Because once people hear a song that they like, you know, everybody's not gonna like your music. Everybody's not gonna tap into it, but some people are. So once you find those people who are, there it is. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And in some of those songs that you've done for Sync, I know you got one that kind of took hold with Kendrick, Clay, and Cole. So tell me,
Hmm.
how did that song come about? What was your thought process in making that song? Because I know it's kind of like a statement record of like, yeah,
Hmm.
I'm up here with the greats of this generation. So tell me how that song came about and how you feel the reception of that record has been for you too.
Who's the best MC? Cole, Kendrick, and me. Instead of comparing the three, let us exist in peace. I'm really just getting started. You've only witnessed the tease. 10,000 steps ahead as I smoke and choke on this tree. 2017 was my moment of truth. I was a year away from not being known as a youth. Approaching manhood. Peach fuzz covered my chin. Even then, I would leave rap niggas gone with the wind. I'm not a Muslim, so why would I lie or pretend? I'm not too good at following trends. I am the trend. I am the truth. I am the God. I am the Zen. There is no way around it, my nigga. Just make amends. These flows are quoted golden. If you the shit, then I must be the colon. Exploding what the commode is. Real soon they gonna have to mention Mr. Clay the magician with the greatest of niggas. Drizzy Drakes and Wheezies, Andres and Jiggers, Pac, Biggie and Nas, Face Mob, Yeezy and Raekwon. It's easy to say these things looking for clout, but this is non-fiction. The proof's in the pudding, is none missing.
Man, first of all, it's been great reception for the most part. You know how some people will be like, who is this nigga? What the fuck is he talking about? But the reason why I did it, and I love that too, because it's just conversation building around the song anyway. A nigga be like, nigga, who you seen this nigga claiming he like Kevin Cole? Who the fuck is this nigga? You still sent it to your partner. It's still a stream, you know what I'm saying? So, but the reason why I did it was everybody compares me to Kendrick and Cole. It's like I can't even eat without nigga, man. That nigga eating like Kendrick, or that nigga swallowing like it's just I can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, I did that song as a statement the way it's like, okay, if you compare me to these guys, if I sound like Kendrick and Cole, nigga, put me up there with them. You know what I'm saying? And I got a lot of great reactions from it, man. You know, some niggas hate it or whatever, but I love all that, you know, because it's just like you gotta see yourself in some light that's in a great way before you're actually there to speak it into existence and to put it on niggas' minds. So it's just like I feel like that was dope. You know, it
You
was a
know, it was a
good
good.
conversation starter for sure.
The Kendrick, Clay, and Cole record, I feel like that definitely accomplished everything that you set out to do. Now I see that you have a new project out called "You Don't Know You Love Me Yet," um, and I noticed that I don't see Def Jam on this project. So, what was that process of kind of going back independent? Was that something that you felt was important, or was that just like a one album process, or what's the deal behind that?
Well, the Mecca wasn't a one album process. It was Def Jam merged with Republic, and when they merged with Republic, you know how that go. You know what I'm saying? Everything it don't always go in your favor, but I'm forever grateful for Def Jam. I got a lot of opportunities from Def Jam. I met a lot of amazing people at Def Jam, and I just feel like what happened was supposed to happen, and it was meant to be that way. So it's a lot of love for Def Jam and everybody over there who had something, who actually believed in what I had going on. But yeah, I officially became independent 2024, mid 2024. So yep.
All right, so back on the independent grind.
Mhm.
How's that been? Transitioning back into that space. How do you feel about it today?
It's wonderful because you know with labels you got to wait for certain things to get clear, the samples to get clear to drop, or you know everything got to be done in a strategic way, which is wonderful. But I feel like I'm at a point now to where I could flood my fans and new people with new music all the time. I don't have to wait on nothing. And you can do that in a strategic way, you know what I'm saying, without waiting and having people wondering what's going on with the music. So I feel like it's beautiful. Being independent is beautiful, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm building my audience and new people are discovering me, new people are finding out about me. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, I see you definitely been real consistent with your drops. You keeping your YouTube active. you constantly posting, your freestyle videos on like Twitter and stuff, and building the fan base. I see that you're getting more and more views pretty much daily on there. So I see the vision. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it.
So when coming up with this, you don't know you love me yet project, what was your mindset with that? What was the thought process behind the title, number one, and then the songs that are on there? Because you tell a lot of stories in your music as well. So tell me what your whole concept was for this one.
Well, man, my cousin that just had a baby. She like 1 years old, and I was playing with her, and she was like crying and like moving away from me and like like acting like she ain't know me. And I told her, I was like, "Girl, you don't even know you love me yet." You know what I'm saying? Like, and my cousin, which is her daddy, was like, "Nigga, that'd be a hard title." And I didn't think about it. I was like, "Man, whatever," because I'm playing with my little cousin. But then I thought about it. I was like, that shit would be dope because that's how I feel. Like, and like I said earlier, everybody's not gonna rock with your music. You know what I'm saying? But when you find that person that does and they tap in with you, it's the most humbling experience. And it's a beautiful thing because it shows that somebody appreciates your talent. And that person didn't know that they rocked with you yet. They didn't know that they loved you yet until they heard your music. So I feel like it made the perfect amount of sense. But that title came from a natural interaction with my family. And the records on there was just, I feel like storytelling is so important. That's why I love some of my favorite, what I'm saying, like Nas, Scarface, Cole, Slick Rick, all these guys, Biggie. These guys made you see everything they were saying, and you weren't even there. You know what I'm saying, through the music. So I feel like storytelling is important. And with these songs on here, I just wanted to let people know that I could go in depth with doing that. So that was pretty much my thought process on that.
Got you. Now I noticed you also got Paul Wall, another legend on the
Yep.
project. Um, how did that come together?
I did a freestyle to Mo City Done, this classic Houston track by Zero. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you from Houston, you know this word for word. If you don't know this word for word, you're not from Houston. So I did a freestyle to that beat, you know what I'm saying? And I mentioned him in it and I DM'd him, because I respect Paul so much. I got a profound amount of respect for him. And he hit me back and was like, "Man, it's crazy. Whatever you need, like you got something you hit me on, shoot it to me." And I already had that in the tuck. I was like, "All right, nigga, we gonna see." So I shot it to him and he jumped on it, and that's how that happened. Yep, yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, that song "Talking About" is fire too, by the way.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
That's
That's
real
real
Houston
Houston.
Houston shit.
Yep, that's exactly what it reminded me of, man. It put me back in that mind frame of that Houston, like that '90s, like
Hmm.
UGK, all that different
Yep.
type of shit. So that's a good look for sure. I see that you is that really your mom on the project too?
Yep.
Yep.
That's
That's
her.
her.
Okay, so she got a verse on the last song on there. Mama told me. So
Hmm.
how did you get her on that record? Because is she still rapping today? Is that something she's still interested in, or what?
Not at all. I had to beg her. I had to beg her to do that, boy. On my life. We in the studio, she listened to the beat and she vibing with it. And I'm like, man, it was a joke at first. I was like, man, mom, you need to hop on this hoe. She looked like, what the hell, nigga? I don't rap no more. That's you. I was like, mama, please. I literally had to beg her. And she was like, all right, I'll do it. But it ain't gonna be no full verse. I was like, I don't care. As long as I got you on there, that's cool. So she wrote that right then and there, but I had to literally beg her to do it.
Yeah, that shit was fire because it sounded like I was a little confused because I'm like, it sound kind of like you, but it don't at the same time. And I heard like the the
Yep.
uh the throat clear at first. So was it like a y'all merged into that together type of thing?
Yep. Uh-huh. It's like after my verse ended, she came right in after me. You know what I'm saying? So that was planned. That was definitely planned. Hmm.
Got you. Yeah, that shit was hard. I mean,
Appreciate
shoot,
it.
man. I couldn't even imagine like doing some music with my parents. Like that's got to be a great
Yeah.
feeling.
Nah, it's different. That's different, bro. And but like I said, my mom, she always supported my dreams, man. So I love her to death. And without her, I wouldn't even be doing this. You know what I'm saying? She my biggest inspiration, bro. So
So
Absolutely understood. Also, I noticed that outside of music, you also have been in the acting world as well.
mhm.
So, tell me about some of the projects that you've acted in, and tell me like, is that something that you still want to do long term as well?
Absolutely. I definitely want to do it. I still audition every other day. You know what I'm saying? But that was a natural reaction because my manager at the time asked me, he was like, "Man, do you ever thought about acting?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Would you want to?" I was like, I guess. So he linked me up with Gina Bythewood. She was like the writer and director of Love and Basketball. She's a legendary director, her and her husband, Reggie. And I did an audition. I had no acting classes, no experience at all. And she just said I was a natural. She was like, he looks like the character that we want to cast. He looks like him. So that was shots fired. I did that show first. That was with Sanaa Lathan, Stephon James, Richard Dreyfuss, Helen Hunt. Classics, like a great storyline, great show. Like if I wasn't in it, I watched the motherfucker. That's how good it was. And then I did Marvel's Cloak and Dagger with Gina Bythewood. She got me on that one as well. Super, super dope. You know, I'm a big, big, big Marvel fan of all, like it's one of my favorite series of all time. You know what I'm saying? And it was just off the strength, bro. Like I didn't have no acting skills or nothing, but Gina believed in me. And I feel like now I'm a way, way, way better actor. So I'm looking forward to some new acting projects as well. So yeah, for sure.
Awesome, man. So basically a through line that I've noticed throughout your career is you've been a product of like really solid relationships that have kept you, elevating to the next level. So, just for everybody that's tuned in, let them know like the importance of the relationships that you come across in this industry.
Very important, man. Like the music industry is such a shady industry, the entertainment industry, period. You know what I'm saying? So when you meet people who you actually feel a genuine connection to, and you can see that they are a real person and they're not blinded by the industry politics and all that, you want to keep those people close to you. You know what I'm saying? Because coming into the game, you're a pure soul, excuse me. You're a pure soul. You know what I'm saying? So anybody who recognizes that and has the same a bit has the same mind frame and mindset as you want to keep those people close to you. So relationships are very, very vital and important in life, period. You know what I'm saying? Like I always keep solid ones around you and weed out the fake motherfuckers. So that's important to me for sure.
Absolutely. And before we go, just wanted to ask you, like, what are some of your plans, for the rest of the year? Are you content with the you love me yet project? Are you dropping some more? Like, what can we expect from Marqus Clae in 2025?
I'm definitely dropping some more. Shit, I can't let up. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep going. I'm gonna make this a series. You know what I'm saying? Like the In My Lifetime series that Jay did, or like the dedications. So it's gonna be You Don't Know You Love Me Volume 2. That's coming soon. Then Volume 3 gonna be after that. Just building up the catalog and the resume, man, and feeding the people.
Got you. And I know you just came
Hmm.
from doing the Just Incredible freestyle. How do you feel,
Yep.
about the reaction that you've gotten from that?
It's been beautiful, man. Mustard actually followed me from he seen the Not Like Us and he tapped in. And a lot of people was telling me they didn't think I should do that beat because, what Kendrick did was so massive, they didn't know how people was gonna react. But I told niggas, I said, you gotta be him to do that shit. And I had to show niggas that I'm him. You know what I'm saying? Not arrogantly speaking, but like, you gotta come with it, basically. You know what I'm saying? So the reaction been great. Like, I've been getting a lot of new fans, a lot of new followers, a lot of love from that. So Justin, my nigga too. Shout out to Justin. That's my boy.
Absolutely. And you definitely did that beat justice, man. You killed that shit. And
I appreciate it.
it's all about being confident anyway. If you're not confident, you're not supposed to be in hip hop to begin with. So
Thank you.
you did your part there, man.
Exactly.
But once again, I appreciate you taking time out your day to come talk to us over here on Inside the Industry, man. You've been doing an excellent job. Looking forward to everything that you have coming for the rest of the year. I'll be tuned in. And just know you got a supporter in J Nolan. Anytime you got something new out or whatever message you want to get out to the world, man, you can always come back and chop it up with us.
I appreciate you for having me, bro. It's all love for sure. Much appreciated, my brother.
Yes, sir. So we're going ahead and sign out, man. Be sure to hit that like, share this for all my viewers, everybody that's tuned in. Be sure to like and share, follow Marqus Clae on social media, and subscribe to the channel if this your first time seeing us, man. Signing out, this your boy J Nolan, Marqus Clae. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
Salute.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming, I swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the gouda, we hitting the jeweler to flood out the net.
We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer, we come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest, but drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.